Hey everybody, I'm here at Six Flags New England and I'm going to share with you my top 10 favorite attractions here. So let's go have some fun. This like a countdown from like 10 to 1. So that's what we're gonna do. So first off, I'm gonna share with you Houdini, which is my 10th favorite ride here. It's blocked off right now. I saw a lot of people commenting about this on different Facebook groups. Don't worry guys, it's opening up again. The reason why all this is closed is because it's August and they start building the haunted houses here. It hasn't been confirmed, but that's what I'm assuming. Now, the reason why I love Houdini is because it's a huge optical illusion ride. It's very highly themed. You stand in this lobby where you watch Houdini do this trick and they're like, what happened to him? And then when you get inside, the whole room rotates around you, or at least pretends to. Oh, hey! I just like started vlogging right now. Hi, everybody. I don't know, what are your names?
Kim. Zach.
Kim? Zach? Awesome. I guess I could read your name tags.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks for watching the videos.
Yeah, no problem.
So, ranking in number 9, surprisingly shocking to a lot of you, is Flashback. Yeah, I know it's really bumpy and there's nothing unique about it and there's better versions of this ride out there, but nostalgia, man, it gets me every time. Also, fun fact, if you're in the middle of that train, it doesn't shake that much. So try to aim for there if they'll let you. I'm taking a quick stop here to point out that Fright Fest is on its way and they are definitely preparing for it. So that checks out with Houdini. It starts on September 4th through October 30th. I wonder what those haunted houses are gonna be this year. I, of course, had to stop by my number 8, the Kon-Tiki. I know that there's nothing spectacular or special about this in comparison to it in any other park in the world, but I love the Kon-Tiki. It's my favorite kind of flat ride where it just goes in the circle. I don't know, it's like one of those things that makes me feel like a kid every single time I go on it. So shout out to you, Kon-Tiki. Fortunately, it's not running today, but most days it isn't running unless it's a Saturday or a Sunday, at least until there's more staffing here to manage it. I also just want to take a second and point out the Skyscreamer. It's just very long to wait in the line to get up there. And if you have a fear of heights, don't do it. It's really terrifying if you're afraid of high things. But I like the view, so that part's cool. But whenever I'm here, I'm never in a rush to get onto that ride, and I usually skip it. So that's the only reason why it's not on my top 10. Ranking in at number 7 is the Supergirl Skyflyer. It is just a very calm ride. I know it looks a little daunting when you look at it and it goes up on its side, but it's a lot of fun and it doesn't really make you that sick. I really liked it, and honestly, if the line's short, hop on in. I'm a weirdo and I find it relaxing. Okay, taking a quick break to do a shout out to Cyborg because it's not my favorite ride here. It's just really a big spinning ride, but the theming in it is so good. Like, just the queue line alone is very Universal Orlando, and the ride itself is really high tech. It's got Cyborg in there. It makes you feel like you're part of a scene. There's no other ride here besides Houdini that does that. I gotta say though, if you get motion sickness, do not go on this ride. Just don't do it. Save yourself the trouble and don't go on the ride if you have motion sickness. Oh, also, it's air conditioned. So on a hot day, pop in there. It's not like Orlando air conditioned, but you know, it's better than nothing. My 6th favorite ride in the park is the Batman, which is actually one below me for Riddler's Revenge. That's not usually the case with most people. They like Batman first. It was a big deal when they first put it in here back in the early 2000s. It still is a really smooth ride, but I also just feel like it's very short. And so I love it, but we're in and out of that in like 2 seconds. And when you go to Great Adventure, they have their version of Batman there, and what was previously Bizarro, and now it's the Medusa. And that is basically the same kind of ride on a much longer track. And so now I've been spoiled by that. But I like doing it because I can go on the single rider line. All right, taking a break again because I want to talk about Goliath. I've been reading a lot of news, and I have people who have had meetings with some of the upper level management here, and they have told me that they're not planning on putting anything here right now. I don't know when that's going to change. I'm not going to really get into the nitty gritty about it. There's so much political drama going on right now about how Six Flags as a corporation is even operating, and I don't want to get into it. I want to keep things positive here, but from what I've heard, they are not planning to put anything into this space right now. They want to use it for entertainment, which is ironic because they also said they're not focusing on entertainment due to the fact that they want to focus on rides. I mean, this is a conundrum that I can't even wrap my head around, but for now, it's just grass. So this is Grass the Ride. So my fifth favorite ride is actually the Riddler's Revenge, which I know probably surprises a lot of people because Batman's here, but I love the history of it being the Mind Racer first. Whenever I'm here, I try to get on it because I just love this particular track. And it's one of the oldest coasters here in the park. I don't know, there's something about it, and it's not as bad as it used to be because it used to have these head cases that you would like bang your head on, and they're gone. So it's just kind of nice. Breaking away from my top 10 for a second to just talk about Thunderbolt. It's not on my top 10, but I do want to do a shout out to it because it's the only wooden coaster here, and it's from the Riverside days. I don't ever ride it though unless there's a special event like Coaster Power Hours, and it won't take me long to get on there because they only have one train that loads onto it, and it takes a very long time because an attendant has to actually release it with a pedal for you to even get out of there, so it takes a very long time to load in and load out. So unless there isn't a line, I don't get on this ride. So my fourth favorite ride here is going to be a real shocker to all of you. It beats out Batman even, and that is the Joker. And I know they have this ride installed in multiple locations, but I love it. I love that it's a roller coaster that flips, and if you get on the right side, you flip a lot of times. I have a lot of fun every single time, and it's kind of fast to get on if there's not a super long line here, and I just love it. I think it's one of the best rides here. My third favorite ride here is not going to shock anybody. It's Harley Quinn. I just love this ride. I like how it swings and it spins, and it gives you this zero gravity feeling. Unfortunately, it has been closed for a month and a half now. I have no idea when it's going to open again. I don't have any inside scoops on that like I do with other things. So I'm just kind of waiting for it to open again. While I'm passing by, I'm going to hop into the Looney Tunes Emporium because I heard that they do have a Six Flags pin in there with a rainbow. You know, and being queer, I want a rainbow Six Flags pin for my pink collection. So I'm going to check that out. Just kidding. Ron Emporium. I want to go into the Six Flags Emporium. So I'm not seeing one with the rainbow, but I did ask an attendant, and this is the one that she showed me. So it looks like they don't actually have the one with the rainbows here, but this is pretty cool too if you want something 60s hippie-ish. They do have this keychain though, which would make an excellent ornament if you just pull off the keychain part. That's what I do. In retrospect, maybe I read it wrong online, and maybe it was actually a keychain that had the rainbow and not a pin, but I just want everything to be a pin, so that's what in my head I decided it was. And of course, number 2 is Wicked Cyclone, because it is the smoothest ride here. It's slick as butter, and there's nothing quite like it. It used to be a wooden coaster that they retracked and goes the same route that the old one went, and now it's a sweet Cyclone. Sometimes the ride line for this can get a little lengthy, so I usually use my skip the line on this one. So some other news that I wanted to share is that as far as I know, there is no holiday in the park this year, and it hasn't been like officially stated on any social media anywhere, but from what I've heard is that upper management said that they weren't doing it this year. I think Great Adventure might be, so you'll have to go down there, but it's a real bummer because I really like that event. Again, I don't work here. I'm just getting it through the grapevine. But this is what I'm hearing, and I don't want to share false information if it's not true. So Six Flags New England, please actually say something on all these things, whether it be the entertainment or what's replacing Goliath or what's going on with Holiday in the Park. Because right now it's just like dead silence, and this is just what I've heard through people who've attended an ACE event, and I don't really know if it is completely accurate or not because I wasn't there. So I just want to make that clear. I'm not pulling this from like a fact that I heard. It's like through the grapevine. And of course, number 1 is Superman. Even though it's one of the older rides in this park, it is historically the first of its kind. People came from all over the world to ride on this ride. I love it. It's still one of my favorite rides. Every single time I come here, I have to come here because, as you may know, in my previous vlogs, I've talked about how it was my first roller coaster ever. I'd been on like smaller kiddie ones growing up, but when I was old enough to go on a big roller coaster, I went on the Superman, and I figured, what's scarier than Superman? And the answer is nothing. It's a great ride. So on my way out, I just wanted to share that it's about 7 o'clock, which is when they close the park. And I was like, I'm gonna use the bathroom before I go, because I drive an hour and a half to get here, right? And all the bathrooms are closed. They have people guarding them, saying that they close them strictly at 7 o'clock and that the only one that's available is the one outside of the gate before you enter the park, which is crazy to me, because they'll finish out the lines in the rides and also have the stores open. But if you got to tinkle, you got to hold that, which is, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand in the sense that they want to get people out of the park. Employees and ride attendants and staff attendants and security all want to go home. Custodial wants to go home too, but they have to stay longer because they have to clean up after everybody. So I get that part. I will say that coming in on Thursday evening this week was a breeze in terms of preferred parking, and there was plenty of it. So I didn't have to wait for that. And that was nice, because I've been here on the weekends recently, and it's always crazy then because it's the weekend. That's what you expect then. As always, I strive to keep it positive here, even when I have to deliver some less than positive news. I always make sure to include positive things too. And I'm just really hoping that things turn around for the park soon, because I love Six Flags New England and I like all the staff here too. Let's actually close this outside of my car today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below. Please feel free to check me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. I play video games at night, so if you want to come and join me and hang out, that's a great time, and I always will respond to anybody who's in chat. Also, if you want to support me on Patreon, tip me, help me out in any way you can so I can continue making videos like this one and delivering you fun theme park adventures and adventure in general, check out my Patreon. Remember, everybody, every day is an adventure, and live your best life.